Hey guys, this is Kime Interviews. I am here with, who the hell are you?
I'm Brandon from Crippled Rejects. Finally made it to the big league on the Warped Tour.
The big league.
It's nice. I play in Counterparts, unfortunately. I'm sorry I lied to you earlier.
He's not in Crippled Rejects. I'm in Crippled Rejects.
Crippled Rejects for sure. You do have to shave though if you want to. If we got a music video, you do have to shave it. Sorry.
That's true. Kyle's gonna hit me up one of these days, and he's gonna be like, "Hey man, reunion, but you have to shave again."
I hope so, man. Fuck, I love Kyle. God, the fact that you were in the same room with him makes me jealous. I'm sure you guys had to have band practice.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Rehearsal.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so first off, Counterparts has a new record coming out very soon, which is what we're here for.
Of course.
And I have to read the title because I don't want to fuck it up. You're Not You Anymore.
That's it.
I want to discuss the title. What does it mean to you, and how does it fit in with like the overall like theme or concept of the album, like lyrically?
Like it was originally written in like a sort of like a negative connotation, like from like a like a poem that I wrote a couple years ago, and then so with the new record, like I was like noticing that things are. The topic of the record pretty much is sort of dealing with like change and sort of making a 180 and stuff like that. So I was going through my like notes app and the stuff that I write lyrics on and stuff, and I remember seeing that, and I was just like, I think that'd be really cool because it's if you listen to the record lyrically from start to finish, almost every single song is about like maybe one or two are the exception, but a lot of the time it's about it's just about change, and whether it comes from growing up or going through changes as a person or as a band, like as a band as a whole or anything like that. So when it came time to name it, I thought that You're Not You Anymore, aside from like sounding really cool, like that's always the main thing, is it sounds sick, so we'll use it. But it just sort of it fits with every sort of with every song on the record almost. You have this sort of overall topic of change and growth, whether it's for the good or for the bad. I do touch on both sides of the spectrum on the record, and I think it's just a cool sort of. It's a cool way of sort of summing it up, it could even be boiled down to the fact of like, we've had how many member changes, and people look at Counterparts and it's like, oh, that's not Counterparts anymore. It's like, yeah, because there's fucking 9 motherfuckers that just joined the band last week. So, you know how it goes. I'm sure, I'm sure that after we'll get the flood of comments of oh wait, they got a new drummer, guitar player, what the hell? It's like, well,
you're already getting them on my drum cams.
I know. Yeah, it's just like,
what did I miss?
Yeah, it's like, what did you miss? Like probably a lot, I would think. What the hell? Like, I'm sorry I don't send out a fucking bulletin every time I do something. Like if you guys want to turn on notifications for every time I go to the bathroom, I got you. But
join the Counterparts mailing list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Member change mailing list.
Yeah, join the member change mailing list. We'll let you know if any positions open up. We're like kind of like a temp agency, like revolving door sort of thing now. So yeah, if any of you want to come sing for Counterparts, I may just quit after this. So come on through, but take my money. Let's go.
So I want to talk about Thieves, because you guys have been playing that the whole tour. What have the crowd reactions been like? Because it's heavy and people don't know it. It's still not out. So
that's sort of like. That was the one when when we were going over the set list, we were kind of like, well, we're gonna do Bouquet because it's like a single. The video was out before the tour. It's gonna help promote the record, and we were going through certain songs to do or not do, and obviously like it's Warped Tour. There's a time limit, so we just thought, we're like, okay, we can do this, and it's like we could throw. We could throw like Compass in that slot, but then it's like, but that song is 18 minutes long or whatever, so it's like, fuck, we shouldn't do that one. So it was just easy. It was like, well, we do Slave, or Slave's sort of like the same thing. It's like this short, fast little banger that gets people moving. So we're like, well, let's give them a new one. Like I think it's heavier. It's definitely one of the heaviest songs that we have. So it was kind of just like, well, in this instance, you don't have to know the song to enjoy it. You don't have to know the lyrics and sing along. It's like, I don't care if you sing or you don't. It just run around and kill each other, and just have fun. So that was sort of the reason why we decided to throw it in, and the reaction's been really good. I mean, like I said, it's easy. Like every time before we play it, I'm just like, yo, I know you don't know it, so just fucking move around and do something. And normally people are like, okay, cool, and then before you know it, the song's over. Aside from like the big breakdown, and it also helps. We've got like Isaac and Brian from Knock Loose come up and do my vocal parts for it and stuff, and it gets people you know, people see them and they're like, oh, it's not loose, like I should probably move around now. So it's yeah, so it has been really cool. Like it's definitely that was sort of like a no-brainer. We're like, yeah, we'll throw in the new Slave, we'll throw in the new Slave Choke hybrid that we wrote, and hopefully people go off. And like it's been pretty sick so far. Like people are really into it. So
yeah. And one thing I want to talk about is like, you know, like you were saying, member changes, of course. How did you go about writing with these member changes with, you know, people not necessarily knowing like the Counterparts signature sound maybe, so you had to like explain it to them, or how did that work?
It wasn't really so much like of an explanation. I mean, like Adrian's been in the band since Alex left, so you know he's been around it, and he sort of knows what to expect, and like what he has a full grasp on what we are as a band and like what we can do, what we can't do, like that sort of thing.
So did he like start a lot of the songs for this record?
Honestly, like with that, like Adrian wrote like a heap of songs on the record for sure, but Blake coming into it, you know, like before like Jesse's last tour, Blake sort of, it was known like, okay, you know, he's no longer in 100th, he's not touring with Better Off anymore. This is sort of, you know, he hit me up like showing interest in the band. So when I had the conversation with Jesse, I think it was like a couple days later, even Jesse before he left, he was like, I think Blake should play in the band and take my place. So when it came, like, you know, Blake pretty much called me and we sort of just like talked about what the future would be and like sort of if we're on the same wavelength, and he got it immediately. So and for the first time we all started writing when Blake initially came up and he jammed and we played a couple shows with him to sort of like feel it out. We were just like hanging out in my basement writing songs, and it was very collective. The part I think helped the most was the fact that before we did the Census Filter, we went into the studio, like after we went to Japan, we got back and like immediately went into the studio and we did pre-pro for the record. So we sort of laid it all out. We laid out all of Blake's riffs, all of Adrian's riffs. We wrote a bunch of songs in the studio, and then we went on that tour. So the songs had time to like, we had time to sit with them and like chill and listen back and go, actually, you know what? Like, I don't like this part. We have to change it to make it better. And so we did that on the entire tour. Then right after the tour, we flew into the studio and started doing it, and then we did it again. So we did like 2 rounds of pre-pro with Will Putney, you know, and like the opinions of everybody there. Like, you know, Randy at Graphic Nature is incredible. Like, he's an insane musician. We have Steve there, same. Ryan from For Today also works there now. So it just like, you know, you have the 5 of us contributing. 2 of like Blake and Adrian, you know, taking on the majority of the songwriting, and they're both incredible musicians. And then you have Will Putney involved, and then you have Randy and Steve chiming in, being like, "Oh, you should do this. Like, that'd be pretty cool." And you know, and me, like, I don't write that much. I'm not like incredible at guitar by any means, but I've been around since the beginning, so I know what makes a Counterparts song. Like, I know what makes the band what it is. So I wasn't necessarily scared. I think a lot of people were. I think a lot of people are like, you know, eating their words now that they're hearing the singles, being like, oh, it sounds like Counterparts. And I'm like, well, fucking shocker. You know, I've only been in the band since the beginning. So I think I am qualified to say what's a Counterpart song and what's not. But like everything, it came really naturally, and it wasn't really like a struggle. You know, we had, I think, the record has like 11 tracks. It has an intro and 10 full songs. I'm pretty sure we recorded 13, but we had like, also I forgot to mention, like Alex Ray also came and helped. Like Alex Ray was there for the initial pre-pro and stuff. So, you know, having a person that played in the band and had left and coming back, you know, we used 2 of the songs that he wrote completely. Obviously, you know, we threw it around and sort of worked on them, and you know, I like to think that we contributed and sort of helped make them Counterpart songs, not just Alex Ray songs. But yeah, you know, like, so having him on board as well, like, he was there for all of that. So, like I said, you have the 5 of us. You have Will, Randy, Steve, Ryan's chiming in. You've got Alex there, who used to be in the band, who wrote a lot of, like, the big banger songs that everybody knows, like Outlier and all that kind of stuff. It was fairly easy, you know, and I think at one point we had demoed, like, 16 songs or something ridiculous like that, and we ended up narrowing it down to, okay, we're recording these 13, and then these 10 are going to be on the record. And, you know, we have B-sides that we'll release them eventually and stuff. But, yeah, it ended up being really cool. And, you know, not to take anything away from Jesse, but the whole, like, one guy writes everything. It works for a lot of bands, and it worked for us for, you know, what, like, we've been a band since 2009, I guess, so, like, you know, God knows, so it's like, whatever. So it worked for us for so many years that we didn't really know how to do it any other way. It was just kind of like, this is how it's always been, so we're not going to change it. So when Jesse did leave, we were sort of forced to be like, okay, we got to think on our feet. We got to, like, figure out what we're doing and how to make this right. And I think it was kind of a blessing in disguise because, you know, Jesse obviously didn't want to play in the band anymore, and I don't necessarily want to keep people around that don't want to play in the band, and, like, not in an offensive way. Like, I have nothing negative to say about it. It's just true fact. Like, I don't want people in the band that aren't fully committed. So when they come to me and say, I'm not having fun doing this anymore, my first thought is like, okay, well, maybe it's time to go. Yeah. You know, and that's, I think, why we've had so many member changes, because you don't know what you want to do when you're 20 years old, you know, like when we started doing this fresh out of high school. Like, you think that people, like, I thought I wanted to play in a band for a career, but people change, you know, people go through stuff and they're like, actually sleeping on floors and making no money sucks, and I don't want to do this anymore, and I can't blame them for it. So it's all good. But luckily now I think we have a solid lineup. Yeah. So I hope that none of them are planning on quitting after Warped, but we'll see. You know, it's a long
We'll see.
Anything can happen. So,
was there anything that in the studio that you guys intentionally wanted to leave out that you had done in the past?
I think that, like, maybe not intentionally leave out, but I think that the main goal with the record was we were just like, okay, we need to write songs. We need to stop writing, like, you know, 3 minutes of parts that just happen together in their song. Like, we were all like, okay, look at all the bands that we like and we look up to and stuff. Like, what do they all have in common? Like, there's repeating parts. Like, sometimes there's choruses. Like, you know, there's all these elements, and that's what gives it replay value. You know, and I think that's a big issue with our band is we put out these records, and for the first, like, 6 months to a year that they're out, kids are like, I don't know, Hell and Home's the best one, or Currents or Tragedy's the best one. And then as it sits and, like, marinades, like, they start to become more familiar with it, and they're like, actually, Tragedy's the best one I've heard so far. So we wanted to get rid of that stuff and just be like, we want a record that people will listen to over and over and over again. And it's a short record. I think it's like 28 minutes long. You know, and it was just like, we just don't want any filler. We don't want any of this filler stuff that we don't need on the record. It's like, we want to write, like, bangers. We want to write stuff that when we play it live, like, we can play any song off the record and kids will know it and they'll be into it and they'll know the words and they'll be moving around and they'll know when to mosh and when to do whatever. And that was the main goal of the record, was we just want to make it cool. We want something that someone can be driving and they get into their car and they play the record, and then by the time they're at their destination, they've listened to the whole thing. Yeah. And then when they turn around on their way home, they're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll start it again. And rack up the Spotify and Apple Music stream.
That money.
And then give me the money, you know what I mean? Like, that's what, no, but we just want to write something that kids can hear for the first time and, like, groove and get into, because we see it, you know, like when we do some of the more and more like technical stuff, like, kids are bobbing their head along and they'll be like, oh fuck, I don't know this one, like, oh, that was weird, why'd they do that, you know, that's a weird time signature. So we were just like, nah, we know what we're good at, and we're gonna give everybody what we think we do best, and none of the other stuff. So
are there any instrumentals on this? I mean, it doesn't sound like there are from what you've said.
The intro track is instrumental, okay. But I think it's like 30 seconds long.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an instrumental, and with that we were just like, we wrote it and we recorded it, and we were just like, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a record from 2004 starting, so that's all that we care about. We're like, it sounds like either a Killswitch record or something is about to start, and that's sort of, you know, that's our, like, whole thing is, you know, we play heavy off the old, like, Trust Kill bands and the Ferret bands and, like, the, you know, early, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, like, metalcore stuff that we've been doing forever. So that's sort of what we wanted to do, and yeah, that's the instrumental. And I mean, like, there's definitely, like, cool little instrumental parts in there
and songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a lot of stuff like that. You know, like the Poison the Well stuff, like the instrumental and the talking, the bad layered talking where it doesn't line up and it sounds like two people are talking. Like, we literally do that on purpose because that's what Poison the Well records sound like. So we purposely make it sound like it's from 1998 or 1999 or whatever. So,
hell yeah.
But yeah.
All right, and lastly, what is your favorite song off this record that fans can look forward to, or it could be one that's already out?
There's a song on the record. It's like I think the 9th song or something, or no, maybe it's the second last song on the record. Fragile Limbs is really cool. I really like that one. Like that's the one when we were listening to the songs back, like after we had recorded it. That's the one that I kept finding I would like go and listen to a lot. I think like the second chorus, like I do like a clean singing part, and it's like. It's really cool. I mean, the title track, You're Not You Anymore, is fucking awesome. Like, I'm really happy with that one. We're doing a video for Swim Beneath My Skin tomorrow. That song is sick, like, huge breakdown at the end. So, obviously, that should be a big crowd song. Yeah, I like the whole record, honestly. And it's crazy. Like, I don't think Bouquet's bad, but when I think about the record, I'm like, yeah, Bouquet's cool. It's cool first single material, but when I listen to every other song, I'm just like, the song's cooler. I think everybody else thinks Bouquet is the best one, but for me, I'm just like, yeah, it's cool, but it needs like a lot of the other ones, like there's a little bit more to them, and it's definitely, in my opinion, I think I like that. That's not to say it's weak, but in comparison to a song like Swim or Fragile Limbs or You're Not You Anymore, it's like, okay, these are like the bangers. So, yeah, but they're all sick. Just I hope you enjoy the record.
Yeah, make sure you listen to the whole thing so he gets more money.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I need more money. No, I mean listen to. For the first time, I think that people can actually listen to the whole record and not go, oh, when it gets to the midway point, they're like, all right, skip to the end, like that kind of stuff. Because I feel like that happens a lot with our other records, especially records like Current, where it's like, what the hell happened for 7 songs? You know what I mean? Like, we were fucking so rushed to put it out that it was just like, just record it and we'll do it. Not to like rag on our old shit. I mean, I'm proud of it. We wrote it. Like, it's still cool. But yeah, I think for the first time we have a record that people will play front to back. And like, take from this what you will, but all of our friends and anybody that has heard the record has said this is 100% the best Counterparts record. I'm pretty sure Jesse even said that. Alex has said that. Like, former members, like everyone that we know and trust their opinion, they've all said the same. So I don't think that anybody has anything to worry about. So, hell yeah.
Guys, we'll make sure to check it out. It's coming out exactly what date?
September 22nd. Pure Noise, and if you're in Canada, New Damage. So.
All right. So thank you so much for sitting with me and talking about it.
Thank you for hanging out with me. What the hell? We only have 9 more hours till we play, so fuck it.
12 a.m. Catch their set.
Midnight. No, we might even push it back to 3:30 because that's like the witching hour, and we're trying.
Maybe next week.
We're trying to be evil. I have another. I got some demons I gotta let out. So.
Hell yeah. All right. So thanks so much for having me, man.
Dude, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Interview set now. Peace.